Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of WCTV. I'm Dan Mathers, the publisher of the WC Press, and your host for the new monthly show that's going to take you inside of everything that's happening here in the borough. First up today is one of the many very talented members of this community. Steve Markle is a 21-year-old junior at Westchester University with a very special skill.
I'm Steve Markle. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Bensalem, Pennsylvania. I go to school at Westchester University. I'm a transfer student, so basically I am a junior right now. I'm actually a professional pool trick shot artist. That's been my knack since I was 14 years old and started competing on the professional tour at 16. I got into playing pool with a friend. I was actually at a bar with my dad. We were shooting pool, and a guy that was shooting to the table right next to us, he showed me how to do a bank shot, and then from that he showed me how to do a trick shot. And from there, that day, I went home, went to my buddy Jordan's house, and we started shooting pool. And we would spend a lot of our time just messing around, doing trick shots, filming some of it. At a young age, I thought I was good, but I didn't really know how good I was because I was kind of like, I learned all the skill sets needed to be good at trick shots. And then from there, I just kept practicing and practicing, and over time it got better. As I began to get better, I started getting some positive comments on my YouTube videos, like, hey man, maybe you should try the Pro Tour. And I was like, it's just videos. Anyone can look good on video. Then I met a couple of the professional players at one of the local billiard expos, which took place in Valley Forge. And they were like, hey, maybe you should try and come out to one of the open events. So I did do that as a sophomore in 2008. I went out to a Comet Billiards Classic in Parsippany, New Jersey. The guys I was competing against, all the other trick shot guys, they were well known in their countries, on the internet, just being well known for being good players. And I remember my first tournament, I was shooting against them. I remember thinking, like, what am I doing here? I'm 16 years old. These guys are well known. They're probably looking at me like, what's this kid doing here? But they kind of, they helped me out and everything, so it's a good group. Pool's it's a unique game. It takes a lot of practice, but with trick shots, I would say it's a lot of trial and error. And, trying out a trick shot, and even though you'll miss it 20 times, once you find out how to do the shot and everything, you're good from there. A lot of people just look at a table as it's just a pool table. I mean, there's so much that comes into play. All different tables play different. By that I mean, claw speed, how the rows are going to react, pocket size. And I mean, there's a lot that comes into effect, especially with the trick shots. You really need to know how that table is playing on that given day. What I'm doing with the brand is trying to market myself for shows. From the months of May to August, once I'm out of school, I plan on kind of doing a little tour of the United States, doing some shows. Looks like it's probably going to start out in Daytona Beach in May. So I mean, the brand's working. I'm starting to get my name out there, kind of giving them a little taste of who I am, and I'm a trick shot pool player. I'm here at the Westchester Billiards, and I come here often. This is now my local pool hall since I'm a current resident of Westchester. It's a great environment. I advise even if you're not a pool player, just to come out and come here and just hang out and shoot some pool.
For more information about Steve and to find out how you can book him for events, check out the link in the description below. Anyone who's ever lived in Westchester knows there's at least two distinct sides to this community. There's the beautiful, scenic Westchester, full of great restaurants and amazing artists, and then there's the nightlife. Westchester Borough Council recently passed legislation that could drive a rift between those two communities. We hit the streets to find out what the residents of Westchester think about the new quiet signs legislation.
Unless you've been under a rock for the last couple months, you've probably heard about the new quiet zone signs being installed in the southeastern sections of the borough. We wanted to find out just what the college students think of the new signs. Spoiler alert, it isn't positive.
I feel like it's just the the people that live in college towns' way of trying to, you know, let us not have fun anymore.
Well, it's a college town. I mean, there shouldn't be really quiet hours because
we already have to deal with that in the dorms.
Yeah. The quiet times, I think it's unnecessary.
I don't understand the point of putting up a sign that's not really going to change anything except make kids mad and want to make more noise.
To a point, I think it's a good idea. Like, I live on Walnut Street, and I'm always, go ahead. Like, on the weekends, I'm always kept up late till like 4 a.m. sometimes because my neighbors are really loud. But I mean, there is some point, like 9 o'clock is a little too early, I think.
I feel like there'll be a lot of fines given out, and it'll be like more of a nuisance to everybody than just being loud.
I don't think it's that loud in the community. You shouldn't be able to just fine someone for being loud. I think it's a little extreme.
I just think they're pretty stupid. I mean, everyone knows it's a college town and knows that college kids are going to be loud, and it's not like 9 o'clock, like that's a ridiculous time.
Oh, I just think it's pretty much like it's stupid. It's really just stupid. Like, I understand like Westchester's a really nice place to live, but you know, you're going to be around college kids, and I think like people just don't understand that. Like, if you don't want to be around it, don't live by it.
I don't know, we gotta, you know, college is a time where you know, you definitely study, but you also have fun with your friends, and this is a college town. I feel like, you know, if you're living on Walnut Street, there shouldn't be a problem, you know, and just let kids have their fun. You're already getting enough money out of us with the parking tickets.
So that's what the students think. But to balance the argument, we went to see Borough Manager Ernie McNeely to see what was behind the new policy and just what quiet is.
Well, I think quiet takes a different definition depending upon the time of day. But at night, when folks are trying to sleep, it means keeping your voice down, not yelling, not shouting, not banging on things, and simply passing through the neighborhood in a quiet manner and going back to your own place of residence without disturbing anybody. This is not new legislation. Anybody could have been cited prior to this for noise violation, but this is at least giving people a chance to understand that there's an ordinance in effect and to let them know what the consequences are if they don't abide by the ordinance terms. Council voted unanimously to put up the signs, since they're all interested in making sure that the residents and the visitors understand that there is a law in effect, and during these hours, you are supposed to respect other people's need to be able to sleep and stay quiet. Most of these residents were here long before the students you interviewed. Indeed, it has been a university town. But there's no reason in the world why the university community and the borough regular resident community can't live in harmony, and we can't both respect each other's needs.
So, will the new signs work? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Every artist's work is inspired by the life that they live. And if an interesting life leads to an interesting body of work, then local artist Juan Terrero should have a pretty amazing portfolio.
I am actually covered in tattoos, but a lot of what you see is prison art. The barbed wire on my wrist was actually done by a white supremacist in prison. This guy's name was Tattoo. Tattoo was a Nazi, but he loved me. I don't know why. I didn't ask why, but we were pretty cool. My name is Juan Terrero. I am an artist in the Chester County area. I grew up in Miami, the Bronx, the Dominican Republic. I left home when I was 13 years old. I grew up on the streets, participated in everything that came along with that lifestyle. I've suffered losses, tragedy. I've been in prison for the better half of my life. I've been painting all my life. I started out with graffiti. I grew up during the hip-hop explosion. We would ride the subways and spray paint the trains and things like that. Then I went to the Dominican Republic for a couple of years, and there I experienced, you know, the beauty, the raw beauty that you find on a tropical island. And I enrolled myself in art school at El Conde. Now, At an art school, I couldn't really expand just because I felt like everyone has this idea of what art is, and they try to lock themselves into mediums and rules and ways of painting, and I couldn't do it that way. So all along I had my dad paying all this money for me to go to this school, and I would skip school. What I would do is I would just go all over the island, draw, take pictures, hang out with the local tattoo artists that would sit on the street, on the sidewalk, and like tattoo all the tourists. And I was just intrigued by all of that. All I see is color and I see texture, and that is mainly what I go for. I have no preference as to what I paint. I never want to be known as the artist that's known for this or that. I want to be Juan Terrero, the individual. You know, I want to do art my way. I texture all my paintings with lumber that's been around for hundreds of years. We tear down Lancaster County barns, chapels, old structures in the Chester County area. These black frames you see here are actually door frames that we've taken down from structures in the area. Some of the glass you see in my work is glass that's been around since the 1920s. I want to incorporate history, and my wood is all organic. It's never been treated with chemicals, and I feel that it gives my artwork a historic feel to it. Artistic success to me is to be out there, be well known, have a stage where you can tell your story and inspire. My hope is to one day use my art to liberate others. You know, I want people to see, you know, I want people to look at my art and feel free. I want people to know my past. I want people to know my experiences. And I want to have a stage where I can open up about that, let people know that we have these things within us that we can harvest and we can create and we can make life better for ourselves in every aspect. And that is my hope. That is my definition of success. I am Juan Terrero, and I am a Westchester artist.
That's it for the first episode of WCTV. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you back here next month when we bring new features and everything happening in the borough. We'll leave you today with some footage from this year's St. Patrick's Day. Have fun, Westchester.